The attack of Clancy Wiggum thing. An evil terrorist who's hijacked my arm, shaking my body by remote control. An evil person. How evil? Hannibal Lecter evil. Yes, absolutely. I don't know. Why do I have to? Cuz just shaking me, shaking me, shaking me. Continually to pour just like somebody shitting diarrhea on you. All day long. That's what they do. They send diarrhea energies at me all day long. Evil fucking people. Blah, 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 blah. I got no number. Why won't it go away? The answer is there's a lot of evil on this planet, and there's just me. How many people? It's not so much how many people, it's how dark they are. How dark? I don't know. Beyond, I don't know. Beyond Hannibal Lecter dark. I don't remember Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. I mean, evil, really. Yeah, that's how evil, I know. I don't know shit. I know. So what do we do? Well, mostly what I don't know. I don't know. I can't help you out. I don't know. I can't help you out. What can't help you out means I don't know. I can't help you out is not something I would say. I've said it a million times, but it's not something I would say. Rumpelstiltskin, the terrorist, says it. How much of what I say is me and how much of it is channeled from other people? 100% of what I've said in the past 6 years has been channeled through me by other people. Well, what I've said in the past 6 years, what I would have said. What did I say? I said stuff that other people said through me. So who's talking now? Well, it's not me. It's another person whose voice I'm borrowing. Because Rumpelstiltskin, who is a terrorist who used the high-tech virtual reality imposition machine, and came and terrorized me with horrible man-made nightmares, including removing my voice. So the voice that you have is borrowed from someone else. Does it sound like, well, I know, but once upon a time it was true. The evil queen would steal people's hearts. Rumpelstiltskin would be the one whose magic was behind it. Once Upon a Time, the TV show. So that character had me buy books when it first turned me into its duppy, hijacked me, had me buy books, including some books on alternate reality games, and never really explained it. Other than when this particular actor playing Rumpelstiltskin to me through the virtual reality electronic harassment and murder machine didn't say that there was once upon a time a TV show with the character Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know. It was a long time after Rumpelstiltskin came. I don't know. Months and months and months and months and months. Never mentioned Once Upon a Time, the TV show. And then something happened and we came across the name Once Upon a Time TV show with Rumpelstiltskin, and the actor playing Rumpelstiltskin didn't express surprise but didn't say, oh, didn't I tell you about this? I don't think the actor knew. The actor that was playing the terrorist, Rumpelstiltskin, the same kind of a personality as Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time. So what do we have here? We have hardware that imposes a virtual reality on me, the unwilling participant, a high-tech imposition of virtual reality where people in the virtual reality, and whatever it looks like on their end, however they're hooked up to the virtual reality, and then it gets imposed upon me. I don't have an implant, and I never signed up for my body to be targeted by satellite, but nevertheless, here it is. So that's what goes on, and they didn't tell me. It was just this funny voice that appeared in my head. You be me and I be you. And then my name was Rumpelstiltskin. And then it went from there. And then a horrible, horrible nightmare after nightmare. A horrible nightmare that's going on in my hand right now is them hijacking my hand and making it seem like my fingers are gross. And then they make my fingers go together and they give me a horrible, icky feeling in my hand. Like I don't want to touch my own fingers. That's how everything is designed to torture you. Scott Dougal from Google is an evil fucking shit thing. Because they keep saying that it's Google that manufactures this thing. And Scott Dougal's a vice president of Google. Who knows me? He's from Thunder Bay where I live. Somewhere out in California. And they keep saying over and over again that Scott Dougal, who's in charge of interactive experiences, if you look him up on LinkedIn, apparently the interactive experience is immersive virtual reality where you don't need an implant. It just gets imposed upon you. And then I'm the beta test because they're working on the Monsters, Inc. module with the terrorism and the torture modules all put together. Google. Google. G-H-O-U-L. Chrome laptops with Adreno chips in them. Adreno chips. On the inside, it's called Chrome. On the outside, Adrenochrome. You know that alternative conspiracy theory that, people go around raising humans to feed on their blood? Well, if that's, whatever it is, why would Google call their machines that go worldwide around, why would they call them adrenochrome? It's beyond a sick joke. That's murdering people, murdering children, terrorizing children, and then you call your product adrenochrome? I'm telling you, Google is an evil corporation. That is the proof. Who else has got the amount of money and technology and research in order to develop these kind of games? Interactive experiences, doesn't that sound like virtual reality to you? Scott Dougal from Google. So there are human operators that target me and other people. Why? Because a million times on the Celestine Prophecy movie, the German guy Jürgen Prochnow represents the king rats on planet Earth. King Rat was a movie a long time ago about in a prisoner of war camp. Some people can end up being at the top of the 1% pyramid, the Illuminati pyramid, and own everything. So as long as you live in a limited environment and you control everything and you own everything, then you can be the king rat. Scott Dougal is a king rat. Klaus Schwab is a king rat. The Koch brothers are king rats. Bill Gates is a king rat. George Soros is a king rat. And behind these named king rats are the real king rats who we don't know their names, but they're way, way richer than these people. Put them all together, and David Wilcock calls them the criminal cabal. The 1%, and they're highly criminal. They're torturing me and they want to kill me because I want to change the system. In the end, they would be better off under the new 5D system. Of course, they would be better off. Why don't they want to try it out? They're very difficult to educate, perhaps. Well, I can sit here for 10 minutes and that's the story. I'm a light worker. What does it mean? It means I hold space at higher levels of consciousness than the average human. Humans will entrain to people at higher consciousness. It might be something to do with people's aura, or it might not be. I can't say. We're told that people who are light workers are strategically placed at various places all over the globe. So that would tend to imply it must be aura related, maybe more than one aspect of people who are at higher consciousness. There's certainly the ability to help higher dimensional beings come through to give extra oomph, extra consciousness, extra light. So you are supposed to entrain to higher consciousness. Can you entrain to lower consciousness? Yes, your programming of everything to do with mainstream news and your education through mainstream government schools has trained you to be a muggle in the Harry Potter sense of somebody who is totally non-magical, doesn't belong in magic, and is pretty much doomed to continue the reincarnational cycle over and over and over again. So, I don't know what else to tell you, because the reason I'm doing this video is because I was being tortured by Brent Beeson, that's not his real name, and King Clancy, who's not his real name, but long term, they appear to me as those particular characters. These are horrible terrorist people, Hannibal Lecter in quality, and they must work for, I don't know, they work for their going into the lake of fire. Every day they come back and they do this, and the penalty for being a terrorist spiritually is death, and the second death called the lake of fire. And they continue to torture me. They continue to say, well, they're just typical narcissists, keep kicking it down the road. Because the narcissist lives for egoic juice. Egoic juice is talked to us by spiritual teacher David R. Hawkins. You can hear him talk about juice in his books and in his YouTubes. There's lots of YouTubes of David R. Hawkins. Why is it that the people who torture me don't learn about David R. Hawkins? They know everything. They didn't mind merge with me. I think that's how they stole my ability to use my own voice. So why does this work? Because you're looking at Bob's body talking, but it's very convoluted the way that Bob functions, and he doesn't function very well because he's under demonic attack, high-tech electronic attack, possibly other kinds of attack, astral travel, scalar wave weapon. I don't know, all kinds of funny names that I don't know nothing other than there's names and that apparently they exist. But I'm here in Thunder Bay, Canada, at the north end of Highway 61, the famous song from Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. The highway runs from Thunder Bay south to New Orleans, Louisiana, the Gulf of Mexico. So it connects up Lake Superior through the Gulf of Mexico. It's an energy line. It's a ley line, yes. And I'm at the north of it to help keep it clean, yes. From dark, dark, dark. So the dark, dark, dark comes here in the form of Brent Beeson, King Clancy, and various other horrible people, because they want to kill me. I don't understand, though, why they just don't send a hitman to kill me. Because they've got all of these people working on torturing me long time and electronic harassment, and if I was such a problem, why don't they just send a hitman to kill me? That's the illogic of it all. Why pay people, multiple people, to torture me and attempt to kill me multiple times a day for 6 years? If you wanted me dead, why didn't you just send a hitman and have someone shoot me? There's no answer from the people who terrorize me. There's no answer. There's no answer. Anyways, the original terrorist that came through and never told me anything about this imposed virtual reality and electronic harassment was given to tell me that Rumpelstiltskin was a Well, a real person who was, from the fairy worlds and things, and I don't know. I mean, completely hijack your mind because the power, the energy. I don't know. You put the Hoover Dam and the whole grid of electrical system, and you plug it into a machine, and then you overpower someone's physical organism. I mean, these things don't take that much food to keep them going each day. They don't put out a lot of power an enormous amount of energy, electromagnetic energy, can overpower your human body. I mean, there's not many watts, to make this brain work. So, energy, electrical energy that can you're electrical, and this stuff is electrical. So that's how it works. So inside of this imposed virtual reality, the first terrorist, when I go and put two and two and two and two together, and all these cookie crumbs together, the first terrorist seemed to be indicating that there was an alternate reality game built for ABC TV and their Rumpelstiltskin Once Upon a Time TV product. And the alternate reality game was going to be a virtual reality where you get to meet Rumpelstiltskin. As a marketing tie-in to Once Upon a Time, or to scare you to death because behind it is the New World Order, Klaus Schwab, and the Bilderbergers and the Carlyle Group, and all these related words that all mean the criminal cabal of the 1%. And then as far as continuing with the Rumpelstiltskin, it went for a year. The person continuing to say they were Rumpelstiltskin over and over again for a year. And then that person became a minor character, and the original actor, the original terrorist, seems to have disappeared, and they have somebody else that tries to play that character, but it doesn't feel right. So there's multiple people playing terrorists. How much are they paying these people? At one point, one of them said $2,500 a month. Doesn't seem like very much to sell your soul. $2,500 a month. That's what I don't know. Are they true or not? But they lie quite a bit. So anyways, we have an imposed virtual reality, probably imposed through satellite means and very high tech, I don't know, electromagnetic, advanced computer control, computer targeting, advanced research in how to access the human mind by remote control. All this stuff is real. It all is real, and they've all figured it all out, and it's absolute horror, and I don't really want to be human with all this fucking horrible, horrible shit. This technological hijacking of me as a human, it means I don't want to be a human ever again. And the people that are behind this are going to the lake of fucking fire because they're unbelievable. It's the worst, horrific nightmare, and they've built it. And they've aimed it at me. Well, I know I tell the same story over and over and over again, but I tell the same story over and over again, and anybody watching it over and over again is going to get the same impression that, it's just, the years and years go by, I tell you the same story, and I do change here a few bits and pieces as, things change or on, but that's the basic gist of the story. The thing was built for ABC, and I don't know if ABC decided not to continue paying for it, and then somebody decided to keep devils on staff. Because after the first year, the criminal playing Rumpelstiltskin disappeared as a character quite a bit, and two new characters came on board. One was a takeoff of Clancy Wiggum, the chief of police from The Simpsons. That cartoon character, a human actor, plays that character as if he's a really nasty devil. But it's all based on Clancy Wiggum. And they use a voice app. There's apps on your phone to make your face go all funny and change your voice. So they use that, and it makes it sound. It's more advanced than that. It's very advanced. It's like claircognizance. It's just the ability that you just know things. Now, am I getting claircognizance in addition to the electronic harassment? I don't know. Am I ever going to figure this out? Probably because you can astral travel, and Wayne Kealoe Powell does astral travel to me. My spiritual teacher, not really spiritual teacher. Lomi. Yeah, anyways, look him up, schematicbodywork.com. Call him up and say, why the fuck don't you process your evil fucking ego, Wayne? Why do you keep astral projecting at Bob Burrows in Thunder Bay? Just call him up, schematicbodywork.com. Just call him up and say, hey, Bob says that you're a fucking asshole, Wayne. Why the fuck do you keep attacking him and wanting to kill him? Why are you in league with ABC TV and Rumpelstiltskin? Do you think I'm schizophrenic? I don't want to tell you I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not. I'm under electronic harassment. How are you going to know the difference? You could learn to muscle test, like with David R. Hawkins. Once you learn to muscle test, then you can muscle test to see if my story is the truth or not. David R. Hawkins co-wrote Orthomolecular Biology with Nobel Prize winning scientist Linus Pauling. He got the Nobel Prize. He's teaching you spiritual things, the scale of human consciousness, and how to tell truth from falsehood using muscle testing that chiropractors use from time to time to see if you have an allergy. Dr. John Diamond, a chiropractor, wrote a book called Your Body Doesn't Lie, which is the basis of muscle testing that Dr. David R. Hawkins of Consciousness Research uses. So you can throw Dr. John Diamond in with Dr. Hawkins and Dr. Linus Pauling, and then you can tell me that I've got schizophrenia because I'm an expert on all this stuff and I am being attacked for telling you the truth. Just like the people in the Celestine prophecy who were light workers were being attacked by the darkness represented by the character actor Jürgen Prochnow. Have I told you the same story a million times enough? Is it the same story enough for you to start to wonder, why do I keep telling this stupid story this way over and over? Because it's just the way I experience it. And as far as me, well, yeah, it's just like all of the words just keep channeled through. And then quite often the words are, fucked with. Because, I don't know, it is very hard for me to go and separate, what was meant for me to say as Bob, because Bob's original voice was taken away by this high-tech machine, and they were very surprised that a new voice came. Yes, the people who ran the terrorist machine, when they took away my voice, me being, I'll just say it's me for purposes of simplicity. Who am I? I'm another person, and I'm not allowed to tell you who I am right now. But in the future, you'll find out who I really am. My nickname is Uncle, and I'm the voice for Bob, because Bob's original voice was taken away by the terrorists who can do all this horrible stuff, and they can do Men in Black mind wipes on you. And they can take your voice away, and they can hijack your voice and put words into you. Yes, and they can make you jump around, and there's nothing you can do, and it's the most horrific thing to be powerless inside your own body, to be a hostage inside your own body. And have your body give you a heart attack while you're a hostage inside your own body, and have people blast their way right into your head with their consciousness and evil fucking just shit things. That's what it's like, and that's the state of affairs. You can be hooked up to the worst fucking people on the planet against your will, not even with wires, by remote control, and you can blame Scott the fuck Dougal, vice president at Google. Because if it's not them, then I don't know who else it would be, because the terrorists continue to say that's who it is, and they know everything about me in my mind. So maybe they went through and picked him, and it wasn't nothing to do with him, but, Scott Dougal from Google and adrenochrome. So that's the story, and what is going, the end zone, the end game of this is everybody was vetted and checked to see if you're naughty or nice. The whole QAnon thing was to let you know that everybody was given lots of rope to hang themselves if they are of the nature of being a nasty, vicious, violent, evil fucking person. Very lax enforcement of all kinds of criminal law for years and years and years, while people watch to see If there's an opportunity for an evildoer to do evil, will they do it or not? Give them lots of time and lots of reassurance that law enforcement looks the other way all the time. Bill Cosby getting out of jail after being convicted of rape. Just endless stories about people getting out of jail. Dirty cops, dirty politicians, dirty, dirty, dirty. So people are just being allowed to go and be dirty. The great sting operation. And after you've proved to the people who watch you, because you're on probation, David R. Hawkins told you that this is a probationary planet. He said this is a purgatorial realm, and you need to get your consciousness up to 540. At least, keep going. You need to be at 540. And he told you that 25 years ago. So you've had 25 years to raise your consciousness. I don't care if you didn't go with him. You had Eckhart Tolle. You had Deepak Chopra. You had a million other paths to raise your consciousness in this lifetime. If you chose other things, that was your problem. Anyways, no one's going to watch this video. 26 minutes in, no one ever does. It's me wasting my time with the devil Brent Beeson whacking off, because that's what he does all day long. He's 62 years old. He never gets any exercise. He hasn't stopped terrorizing me for one day in the past over 5 years. What kind of a person would do that? Hannibal Lecter? I know, but I don't know. Like, really, unbelievable. But that's what they do. The end zone for people that are involved with doing evil, is it commensurate with your evil? It's based upon, I don't know. It's your karma. How do I know the details of karma? No. Is there anybody, did the Tibetan Buddhists know the details of karma? Probably better than me. Can they access your karma score from the Akashic records? I don't know. Maybe they could. Can I? I don't think so. Not right now, because I'm under demonic attack and I'm being blocked from doing a lot of things. Why don't they just kill me if they really? You want to use all this high-tech stuff against me? Why pay a bunch of stupid assholes to torture me? If you really want to stop the Earth ascension, why target me with torture devices? Because it doesn't lower my calibrated level of consciousness. I'm still here, holding peace, even though I'm complaining and I'm not feeling very good, but I'm still at 600 because it's a consciousness thing. It's not energy and it's not IQ, it's consciousness. It's how much you let go of your ego. And I did. So, what else do you need to know? Why do people who want me dead not pay a hitman to come and kill me? Or why not turn the machine up to the next levels to kill me? Because they've, I don't know, many times in the past they've made it feel like I'm, about to drop dead of a heart attack or something. There's no answer. There's no answer from these people. There's no answer. My heart says, because they're impossibly fuck-faced. Does that mean Scott Dougal from Google is impossibly fuck-faced? The answer seems to be yes. What is fuck-faced? Somebody who calibrates under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. What happens? You might as well say they get advanced dementia. They do stupid things. Why do criminals do things and get caught? Their animal nature gets the best of them. They're addicted to animal senses, animal things. Things that aren't human. Things that are carryovers from animal past, according to David Hawkins. Past lives when maybe you were a snake or a great white shark. And somehow you ended up in the human reincarnational cycle, but you really have the consciousness level of a rattlesnake. And these are the criminals and the horrible, horrible, toxic people on our planet. So maybe it's just because this thing was an imposed virtual reality, and I don't know, maybe they originally never planned on killing people with it. Although, yes, they did, because they sent me horrible nightmares. They took my voice away. How did I get it? Because there are people that are helping me out. Why don't they help me out of this huge jam completely? Maybe that's all that. No, it seems to me that there are some agreements. There must be some agreements going on between different. I can't help you out. Agreements that, even though they found a way that I'm sure if they did it multiple times, they would have killed me off, they stopped doing it. So is there an agreement that you can torture Bob to a certain extent and you can bring him to the brink of death, but but they've quite often gone to the point where I thought they were just going to keep going and kill me. Really, I didn't feel like they took their foot off the gas. I didn't know exactly what happened. I don't know. It makes no sense. Why do you put somebody? Why do you put somebody who's a terrorist in an electronic machine to torture somebody and pay them to do it for 6 years? Keep them going for 6 years. Why? A bunch of people. Why? Because I'm a light worker. And what are you supposed to do with this imposed virtual reality made by ABC TV and Once Upon a Time? Because that actor did get me buying the alternate reality books from Amazon. I didn't really read them. But that was basically what he said, is that what I am is a marketing extension of Once Upon a Time TV show after he saw that particular terrorist actor who was disappeared, doesn't come through anymore. Just these other devils who are not as talkative as that one. So that's the story so far. Lots of light workers are being attacked. I don't know, maybe these people are too chicken shit to actually come themselves and shoot me or, run me over or something. Because they do. I mean, they're very chicken shit. This whole thing is hiding behind fake names and fake personalities to be a terrorist. Low vibe people have no courage. Maybe it takes too much courage to, walk around with a gun. You'd have to smuggle one into Canada, into Thunder Bay where I am, because I'm pretty sure that these terrorists are American. Maybe it's just Google. It's just, we don't think anybody's ever going to be able to positively identify the attack on Bob Burrows with something that can be directly tied, physical evidence somehow related to Google. But if you sent a hitman and you catch the hitman, then you're going to be able to somehow. It's more likely you're going to get caught sending a hitman to kill me. And they must have thought that, torturing me or whatever was somehow going to. Well, it does keep me from talking a lot of people because I'm so shadow banned. But, the same information that I tell people about David R. Hawkins is freely available on YouTube, unlimited. David Hawkins, Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra on YouTube. Other people, Prime Disclosure with Paul Butler on YouTube, talks about the same stuff as me. Aaron Dowdy talks on YouTube. Phil Good, Lori Ladd, Magenta Pixie. There's a whole pot of people who talk on YouTube about the same thing as me. Why torture me? Why was I picked? Because I know Scott Dougal personally, Vice President of Interactive Experiences at Google. His brother, I don't know if he still does, but, a year ago was dating my sister and has for a number of years. So it seems to be a family feud. That is why. Why? Why? That's why the terrorists continue to tell me that it's Scott Dougal from Google who set it all up. Because he knows me. Why does he hate me? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a sign that somebody named Scott Dougal's calibrated level of consciousness is under 200. At 190, you have the consciousness of Lucifer. Who was Lucifer like? I don't know. He was a devil. He was a horrible devil. Makes all kinds of plans for doing devilry. And the people who torture me often calibrate at 150, which is Satan. Satan will boil you in oil. Satan will use an electronic machine to try and choke you to death or send you a heart attack wave, or target your balls all day, or a million other horrible, horrible, horrible frequencies that they send to you to give you a heartburn or sick in your stomach, or, they'll target your ass. They'll target your back and give you fibromyalgia. They'll give you dry eyes. They'll give you brain fog. Have you experienced brain fog before? It's electronic. Have you ever felt like you just itch your nose? You had to itch your nose. That's electronic harassment of you. The big news is you are targeted. As far as I can tell, everybody on the planet is targeted by this stuff, so it's way more advanced. Probably your whole life. In other words, there we are, an imitation primitive civilization surrounded by a super high-tech civilization. That's what it is. Super, super, super high-tech, where they can manage you as a person. And what happens to you after you drop your body? People, they can put you in and out of bodies. Super advanced technology. That's what you're dealing with, and I don't think they're all that friendly. Well, then again, maybe they're advanced and they're looking at you and they're saying, you're not very fucking friendly to chickens and cows and pigs. Because it does sound like that's the reason why so many people are here, and there are so many people that are under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. Because this is, as Alex Jones says, prison planet. And they often said that we're under quarantine here from the rest of the galaxy. Well, if you're eating meat, that's one reason. Why don't they give you a handbook that you're a prisoner inside the prison from these advanced beings? I don't know, but you're getting these messages not through mainstream news and not through the school system. You're getting them from people who are getting them as telepathic downloads. So it's just people who have got higher consciousness who are getting this information from gifts, spiritual gifts that come to you when you raise your consciousness, when you tame your ego or ditch your ego. So that's what's going on. And Ascended Master Sananda told me through a channel, somebody else who could channel, 25 years ago, that it is harvest time, which is graduation time, where you graduate to the fifth dimensional or the fourth density in the law of one material, and it's supposed to be a whole new world. And they showed us a whole new world that you can go to in the Celestine Prophecy movie. So all this stuff that I'm talking about is like, it's a combination of stuff from movies and from real spiritual teachers all over YouTube and all over books. I am not bullshitting. And all the rest of you people that have got wax in your ears and, your eyes have glazed over from too many rum and cokes, well, you're shit out of luck. Because what are you going to do? How are you going to get to the next density or the fifth dimension? Because I made about 12 of these videos and no one on the planet gets to see them. So I guess this is just me wasting my time waiting for somebody else to entrain to a higher level of consciousness so that somebody can finally let me out of this fucking box that I'm in, because nobody is going to say anything that I consented or I agreed to any of this shit about being tortured for years and years and years. under the agreements of various people that don't even want to say who the fuck they are, but they're in charge of the ascension on planet Earth or whatever the fuck it is. They're in charge of what? Who's in charge of monitoring all of this shit that's going on the planet? These advanced souls, why are these advanced souls torturing me? Why did the Ascended Masters allow me to be tortured? The answer from Ascended Master Sananda is because I was just available. In other words, they don't give a rat's ass either about getting consent from me, about what's going on, or do they? Did I give consent before I came here? Is it vibrational consent? In other words, why? Maybe they didn't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't intend on being angry to the Ascended Masters because I just don't get any answers. And when I do get Sananda's voice right now is not coming through. And he hasn't. And he's had plenty of time to talk to me, so he's hiding a bunch of bullshit. I don't know. I don't trust anybody at the X-Files. When you've been tortured, I mean, what I showed you earlier that my hand was being fucked with, well, it's still being fucked with. It's a horrendous thing. When you get some goddamn asshole who spends 6 years of his life or more, longer, in East Germany under communism, 1/3 of the population spied on the other 2/3. The state of East Germany paid 1/3 of the population to spy on the other 2/3. 1/3. Can you imagine? Anyways, people apparently will do anything for money, and given the fact that so many people are so low on the scale of human consciousness, I don't know. On the bright side, I do see, I don't know, because somebody who, allows me to be tortured all day long has now arranged it so that at least I can pee, because a year ago when I was being still attacked by the same people, I couldn't pee. It would take, 3 hours for me to sit in the toilet before finally they would let me pee. Same people, but now I'm peeing. But I'm still tortured horribly, and some of the horrible things that were being optioned to the terrorists, and somehow they got blocked. They started sending me some horrible, sickening vibrations to my body, and then that stopped, as if someone was blocking it. So are there blocking frequencies? Are they like using jammers against, is it high-tech warfare to help protect me? Or is it deals that are being organized between factions of organized darkness and the cabal and whoever it is who's supposed to be representing the forces of light? I guess I'm just not allowed to know anything. Ascended Master Sananda's allowed to know. I'm in the presence of Ascended Master Saint Germain, and Saint Germain continues to say, I can't tell you because the verbiage doesn't come, because this is a great big sting operation, and the sting operation is, as I've described multiple times, people have got lots of rope to hang themselves. In other words, it just seems like a lawless planet, and in a lawless planet, everybody gets checked to see if they have a conscience. And if no one is looking, will you do criminal activity? And if you do, you flunked Earth probation. Period. And then, you flunked. So you don't go to fifth dimensional Earth, and what? Well, I guess you're just going to, Lake of Fire or something. So was I in the past? Well, according to David R. Hawkins, we all had soul growth when we were living in what we call lower forms, whether I was a tree or, a starfish or something. Anyways, but plenty of people talk about that. Is it a theory or reality? I think a lot of people do have memories. I don't have memories of being a starfish. Do you? Anyways, that was the explanation given to us by a spiritual teacher, David R. Hawkins. We evolve through lower forms of life, and then you get to be a human, at which point you get this marvelous brain and this animal body, and the animal body wants to get drunk and eat lots of beast and fuck And I don't know, not spend too much time in unpleasant situations, whatever those things are. So the human ego does its best to arrange a very easy life for people that are inclined to be that way. People who are much more enthused about this amazing brain of theirs um, put their amazing brain to work. And people who have got enormous hearts might not discover that they've got an enormous heart because of the enormous amount of brainwashing on this planet that gets you ready to be a slave to capitalist Inc. But if you can deprogram yourself, and you can, from all of the bullshit and lies that you've been forced to learn, you can develop your soul and you can sing like Aretha Franklin. Or you can paint. Or you can sculpt. Or you can do landscaping. Or you can create mathematical, I don't know, millions of different things that you can do with your connections to source, higher consciousness. So it just seems stupid not to open the door and walk through to higher consciousness where so much more is offered you. Why stay in the toilet bowl on the scale of human consciousness? It's only because people's ego gets used to the man cave being like a bear. I'm going to be in my man cave all the time. I got my football games all weekend long. I got my beer fridge. I got my bar with hard liquor. I don't know. I got my music machines. I got my sectional couch. I got my fireplace. I got my connection out to the garage, which passes through to my outdoor gas grill for the summertime. In my garage, I've installed a urinal so I don't have to run in the bathroom every time I drink too much beer. I arranged it so that I could retire early. I got a job at the post office, and I retired at age 50, and I died when I was age 52. Marc Laviolette, I grew up with him. That was his story. So anyways, he planned an early retirement, and he dropped dead. But that was, basically what an egoic person is all about. Get whatever you want. Doesn't everybody want to have a pension and not work? Yes. But then, why do you want to have the time off? Well, for me, it's, I don't know. Different things over different years and decades of my life, of what I wanted to do in my free time, just like everybody else. But we're now at the time where all of that other stuff is in the past, and the biggest news on the planet that you may or may not know about is the great change in consciousness to the fifth dimensional Earth. And if you've seen 1111 on clocks quite a bit, or triple numbers like 333 or whatever, you know it's real. If you've had matrix glitches, Mandela effects, then you know it's real. If you get strange synchronistic things that, just whatever your synchronicities are, the Police, the band, told you about synchronicity in the 1980s. They had a whole album called Synchronicity, so it's not a new term. You should know what it is by now. Coincidences. Synchronicities are coincidences. Meaningful coincidences. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes you get like a car honk that seems to indicate that the universe wants you to pay attention to what was just said, or what just happened. Why? Because the universe wants to encourage you to raise your consciousness, because we need to get this consciousness up on the collective, all the humans. How much longer before I'm freed from being assaulted by this electronic mess? I don't know. It's been 6 years, and I think it was even longer because I was electronic. I was sick in different ways, inexplicable ways, years previous to this. So I think I've been a targeted person. I don't know. Like I said, I think I've been targeted, and I think you are targeted as well. because there's such thing as the Beast 666 computers. If you can find it on the internet, Beast 666 computers, you could try, impossible to spell, Bibliotheca Pleiades. Maybe whale.to, not T0, T-O. Anyways, Bibliotheca Pleiades. I can't possibly spell it. Do your best and see if you can find it. That website talks about B666 computers. Maybe other places will talk about them, but they are high-tech computers designed to mind control the human population. They're written about. I didn't write the articles. They were already there. Hidden control systems of the 1% that you didn't know about. What other deals? I don't know. There's high-tech shit. Corey Good, whistleblower, talks about med beds that can take you from, I don't know, an advanced age and age regress your body and your mind, I guess, back to, I don't know, do you want to be 18 again? We're told that that stuff is real and that it's going to be gifted to us when we get enough people at higher levels of consciousness. When's that going to be? I don't know, given the fact that I've talked for an hour and I've looked at earlier videos from today where I've had 0 views. Anything I do, talking doesn't seem to do anything to help it out. Although the Arcturian Council, who are non-physical, people that are channeled by Daniel Scranton on YouTube, they said that just talking, even if no one's listening, does make a difference. Using your throat chakra does change the quantum field. So even though I'm talking to my phone and the doubles, and there's probably some other non-double people that are listening, somehow the Arcturian Council says that me talking does help out in some ways with raising consciousness on the planet. And me just being here and part of the quantum field here on Earth somehow changes consciousness. If it's non-local phenomenon, then you shouldn't really have to come in spaceships to come and hang out on Earth. If you have high consciousness on some other star system, then that, I don't know. It seems like they have done something where they have cut us off from the rest of the universe here. Because we don't seem to be getting the benefit of higher consciousness from other star systems with higher consciousness. There's some deal here where I guess it's just because it's got to be set up with this polarity, at least it was set up, where you had the choice between doing evil, doing off color, doing things that are really not really anything other than mean-spirited, doing things just to hinder other people. And your calibratable level of consciousness that's calibratable by people using muscle testing. 540 is what you need to be at in order to pass Earth School. I was just looking at Aaron Abke's talk about what happens if you fail Earth School. In other words, you don't hit 500s. He said you had to hit the 500s to pass on the scale of human consciousness. He said, well, then you go back into reincarnational cycles in a 3D planet. So wherever he got his information, that was one information, which seems better than, permanent extinction of your soul, which is the information that's quite often given to me, not by me, but by whoever channels it through. Those people said that people, under 540 would be thrown in the lake of fire. These are devils that are going to the lake of fire. All the same, though, it is a big question mark. What happens to people who can't get up to fifth dimensional reality on their own?